My guest today left her boring job as a product manager to become a sex therapist in Berlin.
In life, for me, most important are the relationships that we have. I don't care too much about how many luxury items I have.
Jarla Wolf is a couple and sex therapist, workshop leader, and the co-creator of intimate, open spaces where people come to heal, explore, and reconnect with themselves and with each other.
Starting a relationship in a non-monogamous way can be an accelerator for jealousy. It can be an accelerator for freedom, but it can also be an accelerator for...
By the end of this episode, you will learn how to love your partner in a way they can truly feel, how to open a relationship and still feel safe, and how exploring the body can help you to heal and grow.
I noticed I want to dedicate my time to relationships.
My name is Eduardo, and this is Berlin and Elsewhere podcast. Let's dive in. Jarla Wolf, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
First of all, you mentioned that you had a very different career many years ago, and you did this shift into your career. So what was the moment that you felt that you couldn't continue your life that way?
Mm-hmm.
What was going on in your life, and why did you make that shift?
I worked as a product manager for 10 years, and I was responsible for doing the graphical user interfaces for physicians that would make the program changes for implantable defibrillators and heart pacemakers. So coming from this to working with temple nights and sex and couples therapy is quite a shift. And I think it was mainly when, after giving birth to my daughter, so a lot of things changed through this. I guess the most important thing that changed was that for me, my desires became so much more clear. And I guess it was like a moment I had, maybe it sounds weird, but the moment when I simply wanted to go to the toilet and I had to ask my partner whether he could take care of our daughter in this time. And I felt like, okay, wow, I even have to ask whether I can go to the toilet. Oof. So from 7 days a week where I could choose in the evening what I would want to do, it shifted to like asking for anything that I wanted to do for myself, because then he would need to take care of our daughter. And just this shift helped me a lot to understand more, okay, what do I want to dedicate my time to? If I only have a few evenings in the week, what do I want to do with my life?
Yeah. And well, you have been with your partner for over a decade together, right?
Yeah. So we're celebrating 12 years.
Okay.
Actually,
nice.
next month.
You changed your careers, and also you shifted the dynamics of your relationship as well. Was that in the same moment, or that happened before?
Yeah, I would say like all of it somehow changed at the same time. It really made me like question how do I want to dedicate my time, my working time with, and what is really important for me. So I learned that in life, for me, most important are the relationships that we have or I have with others. Let's say I don't care too much about my job. I don't care too much about, I don't know what, how many luxury items I have. But the thing that really makes me enjoy my life is the relationships. So that's why I noticed I want to dedicate my time to relationships.
Yeah, because what I mean, what changes the dynamics, because maybe it's not implied that it was opening the relationship.
Right. Yeah. So that was also quite a shift, right? So from having a baby that really bonds, and I guess also through this bond, and we really were like super in love even more with having a child. And I guess this, while increasing this bond, and at the same time, we noticed there's a wish for more autonomy.
Sometimes a relationship isn't broken. We're just speaking different emotional languages. I wanted to know from Jarla, as a couple and sex therapist, how she sees the 5 love languages and how they can shift the way we connect. 5 love languages. Talk to me about them.
Yeah. Sometimes there is a conflict if people feel like I don't know, I don't feel like I'm loved by my partner. And this is more because they speak different languages. So some feel loved by, for example, words, and like, I love you, or you're beautiful, or I don't know, you make my day. And others feel love more through gifts or through physical touch. So if you actually, most of the time, the language you speak yourself. So if I'm the one who would love to touch my partner and show my appreciation through that, it's often the channel that I also listen. So, but if my partner has a different channel, it might be that we both feel, my partner doesn't love me as much as I do.
What other love languages are there? So we said one was like
physical
touch.
Then words of affirmation, then gifts. And then I guess gifts is the classical one that you see in movies, bring home flowers or a necklace. For me, for example, that's not too much my language. But then there's also how much support you get. So that could be by someone who would clean the house or bring down the trash or just show you, I brought this yogurt that you like.
That person who thinks one step ahead of you, for example. And
supports you and, just the tiny things that show that they know where you struggle, for example. Helping you with the taxes could be also a love language.
Yeah.
And then... Wait, there's one that I'm missing in this moment. Oh, I remember. It's quality time.
Quality time. Okay.
It's actually my favorite, so I don't know why it's...
Not spending your time on the sofa, checking your mobile phone, but actually spending quality time together, talking or doing something together. Sometimes couples tend to have this problem because they communicate in different love languages. While one person expects to receive a lot of affirmation words, the other expects to be maybe more touch. How do we find out what's the love language that my partner wants to be loved?
We promote that for a week, for example, you agree with your partner that you just read through the love languages that are out there, and you agree to that you would go through all the love languages one by one without telling your partner. So I could say, okay, today I want to try out physical touch, and I would do this maybe more. And then once you notice that your partner does a love language to you, you say it out loud. And it can be that at the end of the week, only one was noticed, for example. And then you can just get in conversation about this. So which one, did you really felt the gift that I was giving to you, if it's just a chocolate that I bought at Rewe. So which one was the one that really resonated the most?
So you start speaking in these love languages without telling which one are you doing. And then
it can be exciting to, it's like a little game. You don't know what is coming. So just also the excitement of a surprise that starts a conversation about this.
How can we love our partner in the way they want? Because it can be the case that I know now that my partner likes this kind of language, but that's not the one that resonates with me, or it doesn't feel natural for me. How can we love our partner in the way they want to be loved?
It's not about saying, I want to be loved in this way, or I only want to love you in that language. It's more, first of all, seeing the love that you get. So even if it's not my primary preferred love language, just knowing that, for example, every time someone would tell me something like words of affirmation, if I open my ear, like the channel, if I open this channel more, I can feel more love. So I guess it's more not about, can you please give me this certain channel all the time? But open yourself for the variety and not stick to saying, okay, why is this channel not promoted or
resonating?
Yeah.
In your case, with your partner, what were the findings? Were there mismatch in the love languages, or do you match a lot?
Yeah. So actually, I'm I would say my really primary love language is physical touch. I love to cuddle. For me, it's difficult to fall asleep if I'm not cuddling, and it really calms my nervous system. So in the beginning of the relationship, my partner didn't like to cuddle at all, and I was like, okay, I don't think this will work. if he's not cuddling. So actually, it's obviously I didn't force him, but I said more to myself, if this is what I would need, then I'm initiating it. So I cannot wait for someone else to initiate something that is not natural to this person. And by initiating it over and over again, by now actually my partner, I think it's also his primary love language, because they can change. So things that I liked before, like with any, do I like pasta or pizza later, things can change. So I think it's more like, initiating things that you like without forcing someone, of course.
Can someone have like more than one love language?
Yeah, of course. And this is why I said, I guess everyone has all of the love languages, and maybe there's one primary one, or one that you feel like, okay, I want to, this is the one I want to hear. And that's why I say open yourself to all the other channels, and then you can experience even more love.
Hey, liebe Freunde. Sorry to interrupt this amazing conversation, but I need a little bit of help. If you're watching this on YouTube, you can probably see the subscribe button. If you do, it would mean the world to us if you can subscribe. That's the best way to support the show. Because when you do, I can show it to potential guests and potential brands and stuff like that, and it really helps to grow the show in so many ways. Have cooler conversations, cooler guests, and it just helps in everything so much. So, if you don't mind, thank you so much. Now, let's get back to the conversation.
For example, when we talk about the love languages, or all of these like optional, let's say you have like 3 love languages that resonate with you, like say quality time, touch, and words. Does that make it more difficult for your partner to resonate with you with the more love languages you expect from the other?
I guess it's again the question of your attitude. What do I expect of the other person? So for me, it's really like, where am I open to receive? So if it's like, I expect you to do this, this, and this, I guess it's not really inviting for someone else to feel free enough to give. But if it's more like, like I'm open on all these channels, can you please choose the one that is most natural to you? I guess it's more, I wouldn't say it's harder if there are more channels. I would say the opposite. If there's only one channel that I really feel like, okay, this is, I can only do this one.
Like,
and I insist.
Physical touch, for example, you feel like there's no real, or that the person really does not provide that physical love or touching or cuddling, then it starts to become maybe.
Yeah, if I insist on getting this and not seeing where, like, for example, if it's, especially with physical touch, I have couples that come to me with low libido, and then they're like, I don't want to be touched. I don't feel safe. So if I insist on just having this one love language, then I ignore what other parts of intimacy that are out there. So it could also be that if I open my eyes to all the other connections that are out there, it could be just being connected by being parents together. It's also a form of intimacy that I only share with this person.
You're talking right now, for example, couples with low libido. What drives to a couple to have like this low libido? And is this something that only happens to one side of the partners?
So it's not something that happens only to one side. It can happen to both. I would say I experience more often that it's on one side, but also because if you have to understand, the people that come to me, they come to me because they have a problem. Sometimes if 2 people have low libido, they don't have a problem because they don't have a desire for sex, so they don't have an issue. So the people who come to me, most of the time, it's one person being the problem. That's at least how they come to me, and the other one having a need. And
the person being the problem, or that is exposed as being the problem, is the one with the low libido, right?
It's
is
not
that
my
the case, or
it's not my opinion to this, but this is often how I feel like the roles they gave themselves. Like, this is the person who doesn't want, and this is the person who wants, and the person who doesn't want obviously has a problem because this is unnatural. So what I notice, it's a variety of reasons. For example, the first thing that I would always ask is, since when do you experience this? And what happened during the time when things change. So is that in the beginning of the relationship, everything was fine regarding their libido levels, and something changed, and this can be giving birth sometimes. For people changes that. And that can be just because the hormones change. So sometimes in the first year after giving birth, people experience lower libido, and this just comes back naturally. For example, with breastfeeding, sometimes this changes. And then there are some other reasons that it's more events like trust that is not, or that is broken. Or when experiences in bad happen where a boundary was crossed. And this is for the couples I consult, it's the most common reason. So they experience something together in bad where a boundary was crossed. So it could be that the partner pushed for having sex, and this changed something in the trust of how I want to open myself to the other person. Okay. So working through this and processing this together can heal this wound, and then coming back to natural libido.
Trigger some sort of post-rape experience or something like that, or?
I'm not saying that it triggers directly a rape experience, but it's also just, the person, you can also ask in this moment, if there are two adults living in a relationship, they love each other, what happens that you come to a point that you can also not say for yourself, hey, I don't want this. So there must be something in the relationship, also the relationship they have with themselves, that they were not able to speak up. So it's not all I want that is to be blamed on the partner, because it's sometimes that people don't speak up. And it's just a mixture of both, where we have to work through what is going on, that we bring both to a more matured state of being attuned also to each other, attuned to yourself, to understand I don't like this and I can speak up, and also so attuned that you feel that your partner doesn't like it too much. So
yeah.
And this is what would be my task to find out together. So is it that there was a singular event, a boundary that was crossed, or is it that the way you touch each other isn't just the one that you like, but you didn't find out a way to maybe feel into this or communicate it? So, if over years I'm touched in a way that doesn't arouse me, maybe there's no wonder that my libido isn't too high. So it really depends on the issue that is out there, but it's definitely something that is fixable. And it's really what I promote is that if you look at those sexual dysfunctions, that you look at what is the function of the dysfunction, because your body actually tells you, I don't like this. There is something happened that I didn't like, and I'm not going to continue with this. So it's really about listening to your body. It's the same with coming too fast or losing an erection. It's the same. Your body tells you something in the situation I don't like. I don't like the stress, for example. I don't like the way you touch me. So it's about saying, not fighting against this, but saying, okay, my body has the wisdom. Let's listen to it. What does it try to tell me? What do I want to change? Some people are aroused by direct touch, genital touch, for example, while for others, this would be total turn off, saying, if you touch me directly, I don't like it. I need something else to get aroused.
Yeah.
I think it's easiest to understand if you picture the following situation. So if, let's say, we go by cliche, the woman would do the dishes, and then her husband would come from behind, grabbing her by her boobs. And she would say, oof, hello, I don't want this. Can you, don't you see that I'm doing the dishes? I'm really not in the mood. And he would be like, if I do the dishes and you would come from behind, just grab me, I would really like this. So I don't get it. Yeah. And so while he would be maybe the sexual type that likes direct genital touches or direct explicit sexual interactions, she would maybe be more the sensual type. That is someone who needs, who's aroused by the senses. So maybe really soft touch. It could be candles that you see with your eyes. It could be the music that you hear, or the food that you eat. So it's really about integrating all the senses to get aroused. And touch would be only one of them.
Yeah.
Then there's the energetic type. That's the type that likes more the anticipation before things happen. So it could be that you just hover over the skin without touching. So if you are connected with someone who loves direct touch, you maybe ruin everything for the energetic person because the touch is already there.
Mm.
And then there's obviously the kinky type. That is more into dominance or role play or anything out of the norm, maybe places that are untypical for them, like gets aroused by this. And then there's another form that it's called shapeshifter that shifts between all of the forms.
So it is important to understand then not only what love language your partner actually wants or needs, but also what kind of type of sexual harassment that your partner has, because maybe, as you said, there's like this kind of dissonance in what's from stereotypically as a guy, you would say, "Oh, babe, she just comes and jumps into me. Why should I feel uncomfortable by that?" Right? Although I have heard some friends who would say, "Yeah, I'm actually also don't like that," and I thought, "What? Really?"
Yeah.
So it means like, okay, it's not at all.
No,
We are all the
definitely.
same, and I would have thought, interesting. Yeah.
No, I honestly have to say that I meet more and more men who are like somehow trained by society or think initially that they are the sexual type because this is somehow what is expected. And over the years learned, no, actually I'm more like the energetic or more the sensual. And that's also why there are some people who need really this connection before they can be intimate with others. Some need sex to relax and others need relaxation to be able to have sex.
That's another thing that I have noticed as well, because for example, for me, I'm more like I needed to relax, but the dissonance or with my partner is that, yeah, she needs to relax in order to. So it's like very different situations. And then in moments where I will be very stressed, I need that. And I cannot get that because we are like, okay, this is a stressy situation where she cannot relax. And that's the kind of problem that sometimes are there.
Yeah.
And I don't know if this is how to solve this. Is just about understanding the other, but what if you're not into it when you're too relaxed, for example, and the other person wants because it's relaxed, but you don't want because now you're relaxed and you can only use it when you're stressed to release some tension. So I don't know, sometimes what can we do? Or sometimes one person just needs to give into it, even if you're not totally aroused. Or
I feel like it's a question with any other topic, like hobbies that you share or not share. It's a question of sometimes I guess it's good to have a compromise and doing something that's in the middle. But I wouldn't recommend living a life of a compromise for years. Instead, I would say it's always also good in between that you create moments where each version is honored. So sometimes it's not about you, but you go the way your partner likes, because it's really frustrating if over years you never have a moment where your needs are fully met. So that's why I think it's good to say, if I know this is the way you really enjoy it, sometimes I would just go for this, and other times I would be, I request to also get my needs met. And then sometimes we meet in the middle.
It's like sometimes we go to eat sushi because I know you like it. I'm not a big fan of it, but I know you like it, so we go and eat sushi. And other times we go eat burgers. I know you don't like it so much, but you want to, let's say, please me in that way.
Yeah. And I'm also honestly a big fan of saying, really communicate your own needs So if everyone is, let's say, responsible for their own needs and responsible in a way of communicating it, for me, it brings most relaxation in a relationship. So, for example, if I'm the one saying, really, I would love to go eating sushi soon, but I'm the one not waiting for my partner to say, yeah, you wanted to do sushi. And at the same time, not always saying, okay, let's agree on pasta. I don't like it too much. You don't like it too much, but that's our compromise. So having only pasta for years, if it's a compromise, it's not making us happy.
We want to thank the sponsor of this podcast, WunderTax, the easiest way to do your tax return in Germany. It's fast, stress-free, and entirely online. Whether you're new in Germany or just hate paperwork, go to wundertax.de and get your money back.
Well, you and Max, you have been together, like, as we said, like over a decade, like more than 10 years, almost 12.
Yeah.
What do you know about love that you couldn't have known in 1 year?
So I guess what I learned most with him over the years, how important it is to allow your partner to evolve, allow your partner to change. So instead of saying, you've always been like this, or no, the new shirt that you tried, the new color, no, you never done this. It doesn't really suit you. I think if this is the attitude I have to my partner and I don't allow them to change, I maybe miss the beauty of like how fluent life is. And I guess I wouldn't, especially if you're together only for 1 year, it's really about like the love hormones out there. You appreciate a lot about the partner, what the partner is doing. But of course, in 1 year, it might be that you are not witnessing how things may change over a decade. So Max looked completely different when we met. He had short hair. Now he has long curly hair. He didn't wear, had glasses. Now he lasers his eyes, not having this. His face was without a beard. Now it's with one. And it's really, being with this and celebrating the changes instead of trying to fight it or saying it doesn't suit you, or it's really, I think this is.
And I think in every long-term relationship, the changes, of course, might not happen only physical, because of course everyone maybe will grow a little bit fatter or not, depending on your lifestyle, or more beer or more not, wrinkles and everything, age, but also in terms of personality. I think especially when you meet around your 20s and then you cross the 30-ish barrier, then you start also to change and stuff. You sometimes become from a people pleaser to, okay, no, I come first, because you get tired of certain aspects of yourself, and then you have to understand that now you are evolving into something else, or you want to develop yourself as a different person, and you want that your partner also is with you in this journey where you also try to shift.
My partner, for example, changed a lot, like in like the inner changes, and that was so actually over a decade he was on his journey for his purpose, maybe you could call in life. So he would change careers quite often, and I had people around me saying, "Oof, aren't you annoyed by it?" Sometimes he would be at an employer for 3 months and saying, "Okay, again, I don't like it." And I had this over a decade, and people ask me, "Aren't you not annoyed by again he's changing? Oh my God!" And also again, I have to deal with the frustration that he comes home with, saying, "Oh, I still again I don't like it," and I noticed that I find more value in him having the need to find his purpose instead of saying I'm annoyed by it. I was more encouraging him to say, okay, if you didn't find it, go on and change it. So for me, it would be more frustrating if you don't like it and don't change anything. So if you don't like it, but change something, perfect. And I'm with you. I'm holding this space. And he also shifted career because he was for 10 years as a product owner, not finding his purpose, and now he's also a therapist. So
yeah, this is great. What's one ritual or tool that you and Max use that has truly transformed the way you face conflicts or disconnections?
So I guess most important would be, we call it candlelight compass or relationship check-in. It's that we meet really regularly to discuss our relationship. And also in our workbook, you would find certain topics that we promote that you discuss. And that could be household, finances, quality time, sexuality, obviously, friends, free time. And we go through this and discuss how do we feel in each aspect currently. And it's the beauty that you see how things change. So at some point, maybe nutrition is the topic that is really important for you, while other times it's the quality time that you have together that is maybe lacking. And having this dedicated time where it's really about sharing what you enjoy and what you're missing, I think for me is the critical part.
For example, as you said, like the one person will just start sharing what they feel, but it's about the relationship or about anything.
Anything. What is on their mind. It can be, and I think this is why I like it so much, because when you get together the first year or the first dates, I notice that people sometimes are like, everything he or she is talking about is so interesting because you are fully present with this person. And can be that they talk about their work and you're not really interested in the work topic, but it's just because you're present and everything is important. So going back to the state of saying, I don't judge what you talk about. I'm just present for you and give you the space and really listen. I think this keeps up this initial feeling of, wow, someone is really present with me.
Yeah, I think we do that sometimes with our children when they start talking about the things they like, and we just listen actively, even though we don't care so much about that. We open our ears to listen. When my son starts talking about dinosaurs and all the types of dinosaurs, they are there in every detail. It's like, yeah, I know, yeah, but it's like there's enthusiasm of just speaking about that.
Yeah.
But sometimes within our partners, we tend to be more, or we are more aware, like, okay, I have the feeling my partner doesn't really care about my work gossips, for example, or my project, and therefore feels like there's this disconnection. Okay, why should I talk to him or to her if I feel that there's no real presence from there? We're just like, yeah, okay, go through it.
Yeah, exactly.
So this, like, to have like this kind of like be willing to let the other person be and talk about what they want without you trying to shift it, or as men, what we're judged sometimes, that we jump into solution mode.
Yeah.
Why you don't do this or this or that, right?
Yeah, and just it could also be that you ask, okay, what would you need then? Was it fine for you just to have a space to be listened to? Or do you want to go into brainstorming about a solution for this?
Yeah. Let's talk a little bit about jealousy, and because, well, you are in an open relationship. How does jealousy work in this kind of relationships? Is like jealousy is there, but you decide to act different to those feelings, or is it jealousy is not there at all, and therefore is when the person or a couple can experience an open relationship? What was the process for you, and why did you decide to open the relationship?
Like, again, why we decided to open it was also after giving birth, and then this moment of, okay, wow, my needs are really present to me. And while bonding a lot, there's also the need for exploration. And we didn't want it to be the parents that just stay at home. But we, especially with having a child, we felt even more of, ooh, okay, we even want to explore the world even more. And also maybe because we were so bonded and safe and loving at this time, it felt safe enough to open up. And with the couples I consult, I would say some have an open relationship, but they don't come to me with this as being the problem they want to discuss because, for example, they don't feel jealous at all. They are just, I'm happy if you go out and do whatever you need. I'm also happy if you have multiple other partners, while for others, this is the topic they come with, jealousy. So, in my experience, opening a relationship or starting a relationship in a non-monogamous way is an accelerator for multiple things. It can be an accelerator for jealousy. It can be an accelerator for freedom, but it can also be an accelerator for a breakup. So it really just speeds up things, but it also speeds up the process of growth. So if you go through this together and like tackle jealousy, for example, or tackle the issues that come up that are already in the relationship, and they come up even more when opening up the relationship. If you tackle them, it's also an accelerator for growth.
When you're like in a family dynamics, of course, it's happens that you don't have the typical one-on-one nights or dates anymore because they're become more difficult to have them. So I can understand also that this is a part that sometimes is missing within your partner, because this time of being just the two of us doesn't happen anymore that easy. But at the same time, it's really hard to fight for those times of like trying to be there, presence, communicating, having like a partner time. Doesn't sometimes, while a couple wants to prioritize the relationship to grow, but while having it open, then sometimes we prioritize the relationship with others instead of the ones with our partner. And how can that work?
So, for example, a moment of jealousy we had was when one of us was on a date and was having, let's say, 7 hours time. And the jealousy came up just because of the fact of seeing, oh, wow, I'm really missing the two of us having 7 hours of free time together without a babysitter and being just able to do what we want. So I guess it's also a question of what do we do with when jealousy comes up? Do we dare to really look into? Do we say, again, like with any sexual dysfunction, do I say, I don't want to listen to this? Or do I say, okay, I dare to listen? So if I dare to listen and say, okay, what is really below the feeling that I have, like what is the feeling trying to tell me, then you can change something. So we, for example, said then afterwards, okay, we really have to prioritize our date nights. And that's maybe also how this candlelight compass evolved, in saying, okay, we want to prioritize us first. And then in the second step, we want to open ourselves to others. But this is really individual for any couple. Some say, for me, it's totally fine to outsource this. So, just the way we do it doesn't have to apply to others.
For in the case of couples with low libido, or like one-sided low libido, that one person says, I don't have those needs, I'd rather have you to find those experiences with someone else.
It could be.
But I don't know if that is that healthy for the partner to say, I don't want to work those stuff. Or let's say also the guy is not very romantic, for example. He has just come into the comfort zone of the long-term relationship, so he doesn't try that hard anymore. And he rather say, okay, I'd rather have you to go with someone else. So he will listen to the stuff that I'm not interested in, and he will, I don't know, bring you flowers and do all this stuff because I don't want to do it. But that doesn't feel still right somehow, because it's like, I don't want to grow as a partner, and I'd rather outsource that part.
Yeah, I totally understand where you come from. And I would say it's true. And it's at the same time, it's a question of, like, I cannot tell others how their relationship should work or should not work. So if it works for them, it's a working concept. So, for example, I had a couple where one had a sexual desire regarding a kinky side, that the other person said, I don't like it. I simply don't like it. And we maybe, I did the effort in trying, but I don't like it. So for them, opening the relationship and having the person outsource this with someone else was a beautiful way to solve the problem, because no one had to deny a need they had or cross a boundary. And for them, it worked fine. But I'm definitely someone who says, when you open the relationship, it's really look at why you do this. And if you, whether it's a way of, how do you say, avoid a conflict, avoid, for example, if you have a need for freedom, maybe also integrating this into the relationship instead of only looking for things outside. So, because then it's a win-win situation. It might be that you still go outside and have maybe your freedom or whatever it is you're looking for, but it could also be that you discuss the freedom in the relationship, not regarding only sexual things. It could also be that you say, I need more me time as part of the freedom. We're too clingy.
Yeah.
So it's really, I guess I would say it's both.
What's it been for you the hardest lesson in non-monogamy?
So definitely regarding jealousy, it was more the hardest lesson to learn how often things that I put on my partner to solve for me are actually things that come from my background and need to be solved by myself. Maybe not alone, but more, so for example, for me, it helped a lot to learn about attachment styles. And that is during childhood. In the first years, we learn either a very secure attachment style, if I have a secure surrounding with my the people that raise me, most of the time my parents, or whether I learn, for example, traumatic experiences that lead more into insecure attachment styles, or so that could be an anxious attachment style or someone who's more avoidant. And if they come together in a relationship, it could be that, for example, after arguments, the anxious person would want to hug and get reassurance that the relationship isn't over, while the other one that is more avoidant needs some space for themselves. So they can really be in a frustrating situation that feels like we cannot get along. And they the vicious cycles can start. The avoidant person would go away, and that would make the anxious person even more anxious. And for me, that was one of the biggest learnings, understanding what my attachment style is and understanding that triggers that come up have not so much to do with my partner, but more with where I come from and what I experienced in my earliest years. And processing this helped me to not put this on my partner.
In your case, who was the first on initiating the open relationship?
I guess it was actually somehow the two of us together, because it was actually a friend of ours who said, hey, there's an event at IKSK called Orgasmic Temple Night. Do you want to go with us? And all the four of us who would go, we didn't really know what it was. No one of us was in an open relationship. We didn't know what a temple was. And we were like, orgasmic temple? Is that orgasmic because it's like ecstatic dance type? Yeah. Or orgasmic because it's sexual? And also when reading through the event, you couldn't tell, but we all were like curious. Yeah. So we just went there. Not knowing what we would sign up for, and it was a sex positive in the event in the end. And that's how we like entered the space without knowing, but noticed that we somehow like it. So that's how, I would say, how we together discussed that was.
Now that you have mentioned this kind of events, you host these temple nights as well. Can you describe what are they? What are these?
So temple nights are sex-positive events, but they are really consent-based events. People also call it safe spaces, or at least safer spaces, in the regards that often, so there's one person holding the space, maybe guiding through exercises together for an evening. So in my cases, there are groups of 40 people that come together for an evening. And it's maybe if you compare it to, we're in Berlin, a lot of sex positive spaces are out there. But there it's not guided by someone who says, okay, now everyone does this and that, for example. And it's not a group, or at least most of the time, it's not a like closed group that would start the evening together and close the evening together. So that you have an idea of what kind of exercises you could expect. It could be that I would say, okay, walk through the room, find another person that you feel comfortable with, and then sit down. And then you could, for example, request for a way that you would like to be touched, a massage, or it could be just, can you hold my face? It doesn't have to be sexual, but just you're guided through this with exercises, and in the end, it opens into a more open part of the evening where everyone can just do whatever they feel like. And in my temples, I have like sensory objects, like it could be massage oil or feathers, or also some kinky stuff or ice cubes, just things that you can explore with to enhance your senses and play around with others.
I mean, we are in Berlin, so typical Kit Kat experience is the one that is very mainstream. This is not around techno or not around the whole kinky BDSM aesthetic. This is, let's say, more, how's it would be like, more into the spiritual, sensorial, a bit like...
Definitely more, let's say, spiritual. It doesn't have to be, it's not that any, let's say, spiritual leader is present in this space, but more in the way of how we approach things, maybe saying, okay, we want this to be a sacred space, for example. That's how you would call it, that someone is there who holds the space. Someone is there that, it's not a, compared to maybe another kinky party that is more into consumption. This is more, it's not a come and go whenever you want, but we open the space together and we close it together.
What happens? How does this start? I walk through the doors. What do I see? What do I need to do? How is it?
So most people are really, especially when they come the first time, they're really excited, not knowing what to do, what to expect. So in my temples, I always give them a really warm hug to welcome them, make sure, they feel welcome and that their nervous systems can also relax, because they're really anxious. So we cannot get into, most of us cannot get into a sexual mode. And so we would start the evening together sitting in a circle. I would share a few rules regarding the evening. That could be, don't do anything that you don't like. Everything is an invitation. You don't have to do anything here. And then I would start with the exercises. The word is a little bit weird. It sounds more like in school, but let's stick to this for a moment. And that could be, in the beginning, the exercises. Okay, we all stand up and we shake off all the stress that is in our systems. And we put on some music and dance. Or it could be that I say, okay, find someone in the room, and while listening to the music, connect to the person in a way that you normally wouldn't connect. So if you normally say we connect with our hands, it's the first thing we do, maybe try a different way. Connect with your elbows or connect with your shoulders. Just find another way to connect and get into your body, and experience what it does to you to be in contact. Then often I invite them to close their eyes and really look inside. How does my body feel? Did I do anything that I didn't like? Do I feel fine? Do I want to continue? How does this person make me feel?
Is there a dress code for this events, or?
Not a strict one. My only strict rule is don't come in street clothes. So try to make some effort, but do something that makes you feel sensual. For some, it's a dress or a kimono, or others like lingerie. It's more like, I don't like it too much if people come in jeans. But it's much more colorful and sensual than it is, for example, at Kit Kat.
Yeah, okay. Like more like, colorful kimonos, or like, I don't know what, but.
And I love glitter. So in my temples at the beginning, I, when I welcome them, I also asked, do you want some glitter? And I put some glitter stickers on their
like
face.
a bit more into the Coachella vibe.
Yeah, festival mode of
Fusion
dressing
festival
up.
style, maybe. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds exciting. What do people often discover about themselves in these nights?
It's not about the aim, let's say, of having an orgasm or anything, but it's more about the experience of, oh, how does it feel to be intimate with others? How does someone else make me feel? Or how does it make me feel if in a group I cannot find a partner to play with? So it's a variety of topics that come up. And so often afterwards, there's a group of people contacting me with situations they felt vulnerable. But it's also, that's why it's also called like a sacred space, because it's also a space to experience everything. So it can be from joy and you're laughing together with someone. It could be that you're there and crying because you actually, you feel maybe you're in contact with the rejection that you experience in your life. Or the beauty of a really intimate connection that you found with someone. So it's I invite every emotion that comes up and to stay with this.
If all your work and every session and every workshop and every wild night could leave an imprint on the human heart, what would that be?
Switching between two, let's say the one is, like I maybe already said, listen to your body. Don't carry it around from just as a transportation system, but really, okay, do I like this touch that I get? My body probably already tells me. My body cannot lie. I cannot pretend to like it if my body is like, So listen to this and from that communicate it. And this maybe goes along with the second thing that I would put out there, and that's heal your relationship issues. And that can be the issue that you have in the relationship with yourself, but it could be with your partner or with, for example, your parents. So if I have an issue with my parent and I do not solve it over my life, and solving could be finding peace with not solving it, or actually get in contact with my parents and talk about the things that I maybe that I didn't like. If I don't do this, I carry this throughout my life and into my relationships. So issues that I have with my parents, most probably I put into my love relationship. Or issues that I have with them, if I don't solve this, there's a risk of, transferring it on to my kids. So that's why, it goes together with listen to your body. If your body tells you you don't feel comfortable with someone, either, cut off the contact or put your uncomfortableness into the relationship and into a talk and express it.
Jarla, where can people find you and what they will find?
So I have a website that's called bridginghearts.de. And there you can find all the information about couples and sex therapy. And I have an Instagram account that I have together with my partner, Max. It's called Oasis _Berlin on Instagram. And there you find our temple nights, but also workshops that we do at festivals and relationship advice. And it's all about cultivating healthy relationships. So multiple topics around this.
Great. Jarla, has been a pleasure talking to you. I learned a lot. And if people is interested in having therapy, they can contact you. Or if they want to come to the temple nights also, they will find the links.
Right. Thank you for having me. It was a pleasure.
It's a pleasure. Thank you.
Bye.